The 2021-2022 NBA regular season is over, and we're looking forward to the playoffs, where the finest teams will compete against one another. Some teams, such as the Bucks and Miami Heat, are clearly aiming for the finals, while others, such as the Pelicans and Timberwolves, are hoping to surprise everyone. But which players shone out the most during the regular season? It's time to rate the top 25 players in the game last year, taking into account both individual performances and the impact that they have on their teams. It's worth noting that only players who have played at least half the season at 41 games will be considered, which means Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard, Paul George, and Bradley Beal are not available to be ranked. At number 11, Jason Tatum. After a shaky start to the season for Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics, things are looking up for one of the league's most famous organizations. The forward is having an outstanding offensive season, putting up monster numbers on the court and propelling the Celtics to the playoffs. Tatum has developed in size and strength, and he will soon be regarded as one of the top players in the world. He isn't quite in the top 10 right now, but he should be in the mix as early as next year. His offensive game has improved, and has his playmaking, and he's quickly becoming an all-around star in front of our eyes. At number 10, Chris Paul. Chris Paul, at his age, is unlikely to put up the stats that he did with the Hornets several years ago. He doesn't have to, though. All Paul has to do is win games, and few do it better than him. After all, the point guard was the driving force behind the Phoenix Suns' run to the NBA Finals last season. CP3 will finish the season with the most assists, and no player has been more consistent in helping his teammates improve than the future Hall of Famer. If he wins the chip this year, Paul's legacy will skyrocket. At number 9, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is not always visually appealing, but he's a player that helps you win games. His outstanding defense cannot be overstated, and his all-around effect has led the Miami Heat to the best record in the Eastern Conference. Butler, an all-star offensive player, brings to the court a two-way dynamic that can only be matched or surpassed by Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, and Kawhi Leonard. Jimmy can recoup some of the lost respect from fans and media who believe that he's a difficult locker room character if he can prove his on-court quarrel with Eric Spoelstra is water under the bridge by making the finals again. At number 8, Devin Booker. His teammate Chris Paul deserves most of the credit for the Phoenix Suns' outstanding record since he's virtually revolutionized the franchise's culture. Perhaps no player has reaped the benefits more than all-star Devin Booker. Because he's one of the league's most unstoppable players right now, the shooting guard has sparked MVP talk with his constant play. Booker is a top 10 player because he can score from everywhere on the court. At number 7, Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is having a similar influence on the Dallas Mavericks as a youthful LeBron James did on the Cleveland Cavaliers many years ago. Few do it better than Luka in terms of a triple-double impact since it truly leads to wins. While comparing Luka to LeBron is far too soon, the Slovenian is simply a top 10 talent in the game. He can easily pass or score the ball and must be double-teamed to prevent him from taking over games at the young age of 23. At number 6, LeBron James. Nobody, and I mean nobody, could have expected that LeBron James at the age of 37 would be this good, let alone coming close to winning a scoring title. The Kings certainly could have won the scoring title if he'd played a couple of meaningless games, but the Lakers were eliminated from the playoffs. Rather, James will be watching the playoffs from home. At 37, James is still a top 10 player in the world, and his scoring numbers have actually improved this year as he's gotten older. At number 5, Stephen Curry. The world's best point guard is suffering with injuries, but he's still an important player for the Golden State Warriors, who are vying for yet another championship. Not to add that he's currently the most popular NBA player in the world. The best three-point shooter in history should be back on the floor soon, and he'll be able to win games again because his devastating range. This year, Steph Curry is under some pressure because critics want him to make the finals and win his first finals MVP title before the end of his career. At number 4, Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic may not receive many style points from his colleagues or even fans, but he's now ranked among the top 3 players in the world. He tries everything that he can do to help his injury-plagued team win. Jokic has once again carried the Denver Nuggets into the playoffs despite the absence of Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. The Serbian is the best passer at the center position that we've ever seen, and he's a strong contender for the MVP award. At number 3, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is still the most unstoppable scorer on the court, and when healthy, he's a top 2 talent in the league. Of course, he and the Brooklyn Nets have had a terrible season. Despite injury issues and numerous team distractions, KD has performed admirably on the court. At number 2, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is easily a top 2 center in the game and a top 5 player in the world, and he's having his best season yet. As he begins to display his new facets of his game, the big man is averaging a career high in assists per game. Joel requires his teammates' assistance in the playoffs because he possesses the talent to lead them to the finals with adequate support. In terms of scoring, he's the most outstanding offensive big man in the NBA right now, with only one center ahead of him. And at number 1, Giannis Antetokounmpo. There's no doubt that the Greek Freak is the king of the NBA right now, as he's a favorite to win the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year titles after winning the NBA championship last year. No player checks all the boxes like Giannis. He's a great two-way superstar with the ability to dominate on the glass as well as his playmaking. The rest of the league needs to be on their toes because Giannis is back for another shot at the NBA crown. Well guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you never miss a video. We'll see you guys next time.